the team draft. So,
You're undefeated in the team draft.
dude, back-to-back championships, man. You guys gotta do something because I'm going for the three-peat. I don't want to be like Kirby Smart. I'm gonna get the three-peat, unlike Kirby Smart. That's what I'm aiming for. So listen, all I gotta say is, listen, I remember specifically
After the draft, man, I thought I had it.
you did a great job. You drafted a good team. I would say you didn't get the best luck towards the end of the year with how the dominoes fell. I will say this. I vividly remember during the middle of the draft where Gonzo took Texas Tech and I think Tulane. And then you guys just let this is where you went wrong. You let Alabama and Penn State and Texas fall into my lap.
Penn State was not my fault. That was Gonzo's fault.
That was
Gonzo
Gonzo's
decided
fault.
to take Texas Tech over Penn State. And I was like, are you kidding me? You just let... I even said it when we were recording. I said, you just gave him Penn State. Like,
Yep,
you just
exactly.
gave it to him.
Word for word.
Because I thought for sure Gonzo was going to take Penn State. And he just didn't. I'm like, dude, what?
And I remember saying this. I was like, man, we're all down on Alabama, but it got to the point where I think we were in the 5th round. Or we were in the
I don't think they
4th
fell
round.
that far. The 5th?
No, they were in the 4th round. Sorry. They were in the 4th round. And I was like, guys, like,
I mean, it's still 10
it's
wins.
still
yeah, at least.
Alabama. Like, come on.
Yeah.
This is a buy low point. And it ended up being a college football playoff team for me. So,
Yeah.
like, there's a price for everything. For as much as we drag and dig on certain schools, like, there's always a price. There's
You
always
also
a,
had
you know what
Texas,
I mean?
didn't you?
I did have Texas. I drafted
Yeah, so
Texas.
like that
in
was
the
those
3rd
were
round.
winners right there. Those Texas and Alabama picks were winners.
Yeah, I was pretty happy to get the 2nd pick because I thought after Georgia, I was like, give me Michigan. I was all in on Michigan being really good. Didn't think they'd win the Natty, but I thought they could at least play for it or compete for it. And then Team Boomer.
It's a little rough for him.
Hey man, it's all right. Year one is rough for
But
a lot of
hey.
head coaches and new programs. Year one could be an outlier year for Team Boomer.
Well, we got to say for Team Boomer too. I mean, he is going up against some sharks over here, so
That's right.
I mean, it isn't the easiest competition. So, all due respect to Team Boomer.
Ironically, Oklahoma, he got Oklahoma in the 3rd round, and even though that was a homer pick for him, it actually was one of his best picks. It actually ended up providing him a little bit of value, getting Oklahoma in the 3rd round. But yeah, all in all, man, you guys let me draft 3 of the 4 college football playoff teams. Like,
I'm only going to accept
Can't let
some
it
partial
happen.
accountability in that because I think some people made some very questionable picks that allowed for that to happen. Because if it were me, because I was drafting based upon my team sheet, I wouldn't have allowed that to happen if I were in their circumstances.
but you know what though? Listen, Gonzo, admittedly, he took that was a huge bust with Texas Tech, but he did getting Tulane, even though they didn't end up winning the AAC, it still was a 10-win team. And then Liberty in the 5th round was actually a gem because they racked up regular season points,
they did.
undefeated.
Well, I think we all knew that too. I had Liberty high on my list. It was Tulane and Liberty. Like they're the best G5 options. And I was trying to get them. I was going to take them in that same round that Gonzo took them, but hey, G5 Gonzo for a reason.
I mean, Gonzo made up for it, man. Like some of his picks actually hit really good. Like he got Louisville in the 6th round. Oklahoma State was a late round pick for him.
That
that
one I thought was going to be a loser for him, but that ended up being great for him.
UTSA was solid once again. I mean, yeah, he had the swing and misses like Texas Tech and Auburn and South Bama and Minnesota, but he also hit on Washington. He got Washington in the 2nd round with the last pick of the 2nd round. He got Liberty with great value. I mean, literally any 3 of us would have picked Georgia with the number 1 pick. Like, I think he's just a victim of circumstances this year. Any of us 4 would have taken Georgia number 1 overall. I feel like Gonzo overall had a good draft, and I think you overall had a great draft. Look at some of the G5 teams that you got, man. Like the value that you got on some of these late round picks. Like
SMU, baby.
Yeah, you drafted SMU very late. You got Air Force. That one, I can't believe how they sputtered out of control at the very end.
That one really cost me.
SMU, Iowa ended up being very great for you. Oregon was a phenomenal pick. Florida State. I mean, Ohio State they didn't win the Big Ten, but it's not like you had a bad draft by any means. You just didn't have the teams that had the high CFP upside. And those teams that did, it just didn't fall in their favor. but you made up for it with a lot of those G5 picks. Like your G5 draft was an A+ this year. So I think
I got you next year, Shub. I got you next year.
Yeah, man.
Let's raise the stakes next year, man. No $20. Let's do 50.
I mean, I'll take it, man. I'm the only guy here that's won this challenge so far 2 years in a row, so I'm more than happy to raise the stakes here.
I know. That's why, hey,
the
man, raise the stakes. Are you gonna win 3? You gonna win 3 in a row? I mean, I feel like the odds would say, given how close the scoring like kind of comes down to at the end, I think the odds would say that it won't be your show next time. But if it is, then that's a payday.
Hey, we're also gonna have to change the format a little bit next year because we're losing the Pac-12, so it's like we're not just gonna give somebody free points for drafting Oregon State.
Power 4.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that, and then
4.
There's a 12-team playoff. So the way that we assign those playoff points, we're gonna have to think of a different
just additional playoff
wins.
Yeah. Well, I think you just get an extra point per playoff win. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But let's go, man. Back to back, team draft champion right here, Shub. So going for the 3-peat, unlike Kirby in 2024.